It's a good thing.
It is a good thing. I realized I might not have warned you that I would be driving during HHH time, so sorry about
You
that.
didn't, but it's fine. I had other things to do.
Okay,
So
cool,
I
cool,
had to
cool.
be in bed with a headache. So,
Oh
you know, I'm. It's been going on. This is the third day that I've had this headache. Uh,
no! Is the
it
headache
gets
in
to
the
that
room
point where
with
you
you
just think,
now?
I should probably go and see someone with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I could wait another few days to see if it goes away on its own. You
Yeah,
know?
are you... Well, I know it's been hot in... I
I
don't know if...
think I think it's probably like it's some form of dehydration that I can't get on top of very quickly.
Are you getting enough salts, like electrolytes and stuff? Because
Oh
the water
yeah,
won't
no,
help if you're
salts
not
aren't an
getting
issue.
those.
I think it's I think it's mostly dehydration. It's
Mm-hmm.
better today than it was yesterday, and it was better yesterday than it was the day before. But
Okay.
it's just a case of it just doesn't end ever,
I'm so
and
sorry.
that's a good thing.
Is it? It doesn't. You're not talking it up like it's a good thing. You're talking it up like it's
I mean,
terrible.
Joe, like, I don't know what to tell you. Really, the fact that it sounds bad feels like a you problem.
Oh,
Um,
oh, I was thinking maybe more about the entire situation than about the improvement ramp. Maybe okay, sorry, we had different levels of focus.
that's okay. I can't focus on pretty much anything right now. I've
Okay.
taken drugs, so it should go away very soon. So,
Yay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to me complaining for like 3 hours. No, I'm not going to last I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to last for 3 hours.
No, that's fine. I have a call with NJ, my project manager, to talk about post trip planning at 11 a.m. my time. So it's two and a
Mhm.
half hours from now, at
That's
most.
good.
You and I probably won't make it that far, which is
No.
okay. Which is okay. But like, I,
Please.
I have a hard stop after this to talk to NJ. So yeah,
That's cool. That's fine.
yeah.
Uh, you can go and buy your own paracetamol if you are of age. I believe it's over the counter
Yeah, yeah.
or under
It,
the. I don't sure. Yeah, I think you can have paracetamol. It's fine. Um,
but don't take it
you
unless you're
can have
really
some. You
sick.
just got to buy it yourself.
Hmm. Okay. Is there anything I can do to make things easier on you today, Cleo?
Joe, there are many things that could be done to help me, none of which you are capable of doing.
I still feel that it is my obligation to ask.
I appreciate you asking, Joe, but like, even if I was to ask specific things of you, it wouldn't go well.
Okay. So if you were like, Joe, what I really don't want right now is any new music. I can't have music because of my
Oh,
headache.
that's fine. Like Joe, like this isn't a migraine. I am fully functional. I'm just grumpy.
Okay, that's fine.
So,
Um, well, remember how I said my sister Quinn.
yes.
Ooh! Quinn was in the Washington Post this week. Did you see the link on Twitter?
I did not. I did
Oh,
not.
I'm gonna see if I can find you this link real quick. But yeah, there was a photo shoot for Trans Day of Visibility here in Nashville.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
and the photographer basically said, this professional photographer said, "Hey, I know a lot of people don't have like new pictures of themselves that they're comfortable with using for like profile pictures or things like that. So in the lead up to Trans Day of Visibility, I'm gonna do this free photo shoot. Um, Come out to the park and get your photo shot. It's actually at the same park where my classic Joe Hill's photo was taken, Centennial Park, I think. Um,
The classic Joe.
the thing is that you know which one I mean when I say that.
Everyone knows exactly what you mean. You've only recently changed it.
Yeah, and I'm only doing that to be obnoxious. But yeah, let me.
I mean, you don't have to do that to be obnoxious, Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got that down.
So do you mind? Is it okay if I post this in your chat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so twitch.tv/popout/zombiecleo/chat.
For obvious reasons, I am avoiding the Twitter as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. I get that. And I'm gonna post this in my chats too. So anyway, this photographer did such a good job. It ended up, and like all these people from Nashville were showing off their pictures. It apparently attracted the attention of the Washington Post, and they were like, "Hey, could we do some sort of thing with like a brief interview with some of these people, whoever's comfortable, and so so Quinn is actually the lead photo in this article, and then is also interviewed further down with more photos.
See, let's open that up. Aww. He's cute.
Mm-hmm. And so, some viewers from last week might remember that you and I talked about commissioning Quinn to do a 7-second, like, kind of burst intro. This is not a full 30-second
vaguely
theme
I
song.
remember this. Yes.
Because Quinn has a few different price rates for different what do you call them? Like lengths of songs. Like if people have seen NJ's stream with the full 30-second Quinn theme song, that'd be like $400. But this was like only 100.
Okay.
So I realize there's no good way for me to patch this audio in through Discord. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you the MP3 file, and then we'll both play it at the same time. Like we'll count it in, maybe.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah. No, that sounds doable.
Okay.
Okay. Hang on. Let me download this. Show in folder. Oh no, I'm gonna have to click directly on this thing. Okay, give me a second.
Okay, tell me when you. Yeah, if you want to count us
whoa,
in.
Whoa, 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 whoa! That was very loud. I apologize. I can't click. Hang on. Can I get that from? Hang on. I think I can probably get it from this, but I'm going to turn that down a bit.
Yeah, there's a Discord embed you might be able to use with a volume control.
Yeah, I've got that. I apologize, chat. I really apologize.
Okay, if you want to count us in.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Crafting with Joe and Cleo. Crafting crafts. Haggis.
Oh my god.
Well, with you on your way to Scotland faster than ever, I wanted to make sure that you were ready.
I wasn't ready. Once more, for the people who were not yet asleep, I'm going to replay that one.
Okay, count us in so we can both replay it at the same time.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Crafting with Joe and Cleo. Crafting crafts. Haggis.
I don't know what I expected, and I'm still surprised, and that's fine.
Well, the actual brief was 80s power exercise mix, and so when I was talking to Quinn about this on Quinn's usually a guest on my show on Thursdays, I was like, okay guys, so look, I'm able to afford this for only $100, but for a second $100 we can also commission the dumbest alternate version we can think of. So this is actually dumb alternate version. The original 80s mix one is still a work in progress, so we'll have that for you next week.
I'm shocked, kind of appalled. Just joined in. What a jingle! I approve. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with this jingle, but horrified as well. It's great. It's perfect. Can you hear the jingle? Sure. Give me like 5 seconds. Okay. And 3, 2, 1.
Crafting with Joe and Cleo. Crafting crafts. Haggis.
The haggis was a lovely touch.
Yeah. Thank you, Chloe the Great and Powerful, for tipping for who writes Jingle Commission Fund. I'm gonna be honest, I do have a lot of day-to-day expenses, but if we can cover those, now that I've seen how quick and easy it is, like this was a 4-minute conversation and sending over $100 that the chat volunteered. right? I basically said I already set
Right.
aside the money for the good one. If the chat wants to kick in via PayPal toward the alternate stupid one, we'll get it done. Because I can't justify that on my own. But other than that, I generally want to support my sister. But
Yeah, no, that's legit. Paleo, thank you for the biddies. And Helium Vibes cheered 300 biddies saying, a year ago I got gender affirming surgery and your videos were a source of comfort. Oh, so thank you for being that source even to that day. Well, you know what? I don't know what to say because that is like possibly one of the nicest things anybody's ever said to me, and I don't deal with compliments well. So I'm pleased that you feel comfortable in your body. Hooray. And I feel very awkward now. But,
That's
I'm
okay.
pleased for you. I'm bad at this.
Well, the way I look at it, Cleo, is sometimes people will tell me like about something really challenging that they overcome thanks to my work in some small part, and I'll always be like, look, you did all the hard stuff there. I'm just glad that I could contribute in a tiny way, and thank you for letting me know, because that makes me feel great.
Yes. What Joe said, but with a Cleo spin. There you go. Well done, Helium Vibes, for being amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Nickety says, is that going to play every bullet journaling stream? Maybe. We've got one of these so far. Hopefully by next week the real one will be done. But like as I'm saying that, I'm like, there's the only real limit is our imagination and a stack of
No, there
hundos.
are limits, Joe. Your imagination needs a limit.
The limit is the stack of hundos. So
yeah.
I need to rotate the camera.
Thanks to Joe's work, I have stopped being obsessed with Joe.
Who wrote that? Thanks,
the
please.
artist formerly known as Joe Hill Simp.
Oh yeah, I do what I can. That must have been real challenging for you, Blaze. I'm glad I could help in some small way.
I like to think it was that craft stream we had where we found out who Joe Hill Simp actually was, and then mocked them mercilessly for it, and have never stopped. At least I've never stopped.
Never stop, not stopping. Okay, I am really actually feeling pretty good today, Cleo. I almost can never open a stream saying that.
I am very pleased for you.
Yeah, I'm just not a convincing enough liar. But yeah, no, I feel like my lying is off the charts this morning. No, I actually feel great.
My lying is always off the charts, except today, where I feel like poo. So I'm guessing that the universe is only allowing one of us to feel great at any one time.
Oh, I like that there's like some sort of slider for like energy, and it's like on one end is written Joe and on one end is written Cleo, and it just goes zzz, zzz.
Cameron never stopped either. Yeah, no, that's fair.
But yeah, no, I actually got out of town for an extended road trip. I was able to work on the road.
Yeah.
Like I was stress testing my travel rig. I found out a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna need to upgrade and fix, but like I didn't want to like go all in and spend a bunch of money like guessing. I want to be like, what will I actually need? Is this like which of the things I have are good enough and which ones aren't? And some of the things that I was like, I don't know about this. Oh, that worked fine. Some of the other stuff
was one of them the mic?
Well, the mic itself. So I'm using the XLR. I've basically bought a second USB to XLR interface that's more travel friendly, because the one I've got on my desk here has like a bunch of inputs on the back for like musical instruments and stuff for when I have guests in the studio. The other one's a little bit smaller, but it still has support for 2 headphones and 2 mics, which is I think the baseline for if I'm traveling, because a lot of times I'm either going to be splitting a hotel room with my sister or with in the future Badger Spanner. So like when we do the Dracula streams, it's better for us to have our own mics, you know. One thing I did realize though that I need to get lavalier mics for the flying version of this, because the mic stands are too heavy to fly with.
Right, yeah.
But
that makes sense.
But yeah, so I'm feeling really excited because I feel like 2024, by then we should have everybody's got their TCG cards. It's time to go out and get some games played with people. I decided I'm gonna commission some pogs with me in like a prepare to duel, like holding a bunch of cards stance.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so if people play me at a convention, they get one of those pogs, and I'll sign it with like, you know, you beat me, Joe, play on Con 2024, or that sort of thing, you know.
Unless they don't beat you.
If they don't beat me,
like,
all right.
you played me.
All right, good game. Because
All right, you suck, and you know you do.
Yeah, lol, what? Play on Con 2024. But yeah, so just like because one of the guys I met at the pinball tournament I went to, Pez Johnson, he's a Twitch streamer, and he collects Pez's, and part of collecting Pez is sometimes you have to like, sometimes you end up like buying a big box with random stuff in it, and you get duplicates, you know? And so he'll give out duplicate Pez's to fans. Oh, I didn't bring him up here for the camera. I kind of want to go get that. But anyway, so I was like, man, I wish I had something cool that I could hand out to people. I'm like, oh, the only thing stopping me is I haven't done it. I could just go do that.
You could just do the thing, Joe.
Yeah, and so I'm also commissioning a pog of me waving. That'll be like a howdy, kind of like overly excited, like hi. That sort of thing. So like if people meet me at cons but don't necessarily play me at a card game, they'd get a little howdy card or a howdy pog. I was gonna do a pinball
cute,
one
Joe.
for people who play pinball against me. Like Ink Curious lives in Wisconsin. I did a couple meetups while I was in Wisconsin, and I got to play pinball with some people who play pinball regularly, and with some people who had never played it before, like in their adult lives. And it's like, it'd be cool to be able to say to people who are like on the fence, like, I don't know if I'd be any good. You don't have to be good, but you get this pog that you can show off that says, I played Joe Hills in pinball. You know, like, also, there's a big difference, too, for me, because of my digestive problems. Like, when I go into a tournament, I've, like, timed exactly what I've eaten and drank, and I'm, like, super focused. But if I'm, like, at a meetup with fans, and I'm, like, eating appetizers and, like, drinking, like, I am going to perform at like 10% of my possible skill level. Like my reflexes are shot after I ate, you know? So yeah, you have a good chance of playing me at pinball and winning. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm really excited.
Just make sure he's eaten first.
Yeah. I am really excited about getting out there and meeting people. And this was kind of like 6 months in advance of that big sweep, like do a shakedown tour, learn everything I can, so that way I can say, okay, what purchases do I need to budget for in terms of gear, like getting these pogs printed. I couldn't turn that around in a week. You know, I'm commissioning artists. I've already started talking to people. But yeah, Lakshmi13 says, what is a pog? Pog is an abbreviation of pomegranate, orange, grapefruit. It is a circular cardboard disc that is used to hold juice in place in a jug, and kids in Hawaii, I believe, made a game out of flipping the pogs over that became so popular that people started printing designs on pogs for kids to buy to play the game without taking them off of juice bottles.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah, but soon I'll have actual pogs I can put like on the camera here, and yeah. So anyway,
that's cool.
Also, Mini Cheese Mouse, thank you for tipping 5, who writes, celebrating being able to turn off the various school alarms for the next 6 or 7 weeks. That is indeed. Oh, it is a weight off of me. I'm actually, this year, I'm being pretty aggressive about trying to wake up at almost the same time I would anyway. Okay, I've rotated myself another 5 degrees angular, because we are rotating 1 degree for every dollar that rolls in. But yeah, so this year I'm trying to not, like, get my sleep cycle wildly different over the summer. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. I think that what I need to do is, like, start exercising in the morning. And that was my original thing, was I was like, as soon as Corinne goes to her mom's, I'm going to start running every morning. And, like, the first morning she's gone, it's like, you know, on the news, it's like, smoke coming down from Canada, don't go outside, and if you do have to go outside, don't breathe the air, avoid exerting yourself. And it's like, ah! So, luckily, it's a little bit better now, I haven't actually done it yet, but I'm hoping that I can do it. Because, like...
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. From a fitness standpoint, one of the tournaments or part of this weekend, like Friday night there was a warm-up tournament. The main event qualifier was between 9 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, so we played 20 games in that time. Then there was another side tournament that started a half hour later on Saturday night, and then there was another side tournament on Sunday for everybody who didn't qualify for finals. So like the big Saturday 20 game tournament, the top 24 people went into finals Sunday morning. Everybody else had a side tournament. And I gotta say, I did way better than I expected in the main event tournament. That 20 game tournament, I finished in the top third. And like, this is...
Nice.
Yeah, and this is a 152 person tournament. I finished 45th. And, like, these people come from all over the world for this. This is, like, a big thing. And so, like, I had no idea going in. I was like, I'm kind of top of the middle of the pack in Nashville. Like, there's a kind of a skill gap between me and the best guys. But, like, I'm competitive, you know? But I was like, when I get here, I might just be dead last. I might just completely, like, I overestimated how good I was. But I was like, oh, I don't know. I play against a bunch of really good people, so maybe I'm doing okay. And I got out there, and I'm like, everybody I play against is underranked. Like, because part of your international ranking is, like, how well you do on the road against other people. And a lot of the people in Nashville don't travel outside the city. So their rank internationally is relatively low, but their skill level is disproportionately high. And so... and I didn't know that until I went up here, because like I said, most of the people I play against never go to events like this. And so I had no way to calibrate, like, my expectations. But I have a feeling when I get to the next local tournament and, like, people are like, oh, hi, how was District 82? And I'm like, oh, I finished in the top third. They're going to be like, geez, I should be going to that. Like, I'm way better than you. Like... It's like, yeah, you might have qualified for finals. Like, top 24, like I said, goes to finals and gets a guaranteed cash prize at that point. Like, and it's just like, yeah, you guys should be going to these things. Like, maybe we can carpool so I don't have to... Because, like, the thing is with the drives, they were, like, 10, 12-hour drives. And with two drivers, you can take turns. With three drivers, it's even easier. But with one driver... I was just like, I need to split this up and take an extra night in the hotel and, you know, do 5 hours one day, 5 hours the next day. It's like, So, yeah, hopefully I can find somebody to go up with me next time. But, yeah, I'm also really excited because this means that Corinne would actually be good enough to go to these. Because she's not quite at my skill level, but she's good enough that she beats me sometimes. And she's getting better faster than I'm getting better, too. Because kids are, like... Fair. They have good reflexes, elastic learning, you know, capabilities. So, like, yeah, when I got back, didn't get back. When I called her, I was like, yeah, I finished in the top third, and she's just like, wait, that means I could finish in the top third. It's like, yeah, like this is worth going to. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Well done, Joe. You did good.
I did do good, and I'm gonna be and I'm gonna get to travel and meet cool people, and like, I think there's really something important about like taking risks like this, because this was kind of arguably a pretty big risk in that, like, in entering the tournament was $190. I had to pay for hotels and stuff. I did get to see my brother and my sister-in-law for a few days. So that part, in some ways, that was part of why I was able to justify the trip, because they've been asking me to come up and visit them in Wisconsin for a while. And so this was the first chance I had to really, I was like, well, I can kind of justify this. So, yeah, but anyway, I'm feeling really encouraged, which is...
That's good.
Atypical for me. Usually I'm feeling continuously discouraged. And once again, there's a difference. People think, like, Joe, you shouldn't have these self-confidence issues. It's like, no, I have incredible confidence issues. I have the best confidence issues. I really think very highly of myself, but I continuously just, my analysis of the world is that it's stupidly discouraging. And it's like, I feel like I kind of caught a little bit of a break here. And I'm like, hey, maybe I can catch another one in the future. I'm feeling optimistic, you know? It's nice.
Yeah, no, I understand that. That's cool. I'm glad you're feeling happy.
Yay. Thank you, Cleo.
You're very welcome.
Is there anything that you've ever, like, kind of gone on a limb, like, and, like, was like, maybe this will work out, and then it, maybe not something as big as, like, YouTube, where it was, like, a 10-year thing, but, like, you know, like, something, like, where you took, like, a week or a weekend to try to go outside your comfort zone, and it paid off?
Not specifically. Like, I mean, meeting people, I don't never expect to go well. I mean, that's basically it.
That's fair.
But I pretty much do whatever I feel like I want to do anyway, so...
Oh, that's cool.
You
Good way to
know.
live.
Sorry?
That's a good way to live.
I've never had issues with it personally, but
Well, the thing is,
sure.
like, the things I want to do, a lot of times I'm like, well, it's like I'm already doing all the stuff I can easily afford to do. You know what I mean? Like, but like, sometimes, like, I don't know. Like I said, like, this trip kind of felt like a little bit of a gamble. Another example of this was, like, when I took all the money I had, basically, in order to go to Las Vegas, because of Minecon Vegas. And I got YouTube partnership because I met a guy from YouTube there. And I had, after I was talking to him for a little while, and he's like, why aren't you a partner? I'm like, well, I applied, you know, a month ago, and there's like a, you know, 3 to 6 month, I forget what the waiting period was, but there was like a gap where
it was a
long time. It used to be if you applied for partner and were declined, you had to wait like half a year to apply again.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I think you should apply again sooner. And I'm like, how would I even do that? And he's like, I'll email you. And then I applied again like that when I got home and got partnership and immediately started getting paid and stuff. And like, so that was a huge gamble that I took to go to Vegas. I had no money to gamble with in Vegas. I didn't really have enough money for like food. Like, it was like really, you know.
That feels like a risk, yes.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I'm saying is like, there's a lot of things I see kind of pass me by where I'm like, oh, I really feel like I should try to go to that, and I'm like, I can't justify. You know, maybe next year. So like those were two things where I was just like the Minecon Vegas and this District 82 pinball tournament were both things where I was just like, you know what, not next year, this year. I'm going now because I want to know. I want to know if I'm like where I'm at, right? Because it's like my YouTube stuff was going pretty well, but I had just got turned down for partner at the time, and I was like, I don't know, where's this going, you know? Let me go maybe meet some other YouTube people, meet some other Minecraft people. Maybe I'll get inspired, which I did, obviously, as well in, like, other creative ways. I met a bunch of really cool folks. But, like, I could have just been like, well, that was several $100s I should not have spent, and a complete waste of my time. Like, I learned nothing. Like, in some ways, if I went there and I learned that I should not be doing YouTube, like, if I came back and it was just like, you're never going to hack it, kid, I would have come back and I would have been like, you know what? That probably just saved me a lot of years of my life. That was $400 well spent or whatever. But, like, the fact that it's like I learned something and it was positive was even better.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm all for the positive things that we learn. Trying to work the odds on a Vegas trip.
Yeah, it's like, Joe, you gotta gamble when you get there. Getting there is the gamble.
Dr. Alien has resubscribed for 9 months and says, it's a Twitch baby. Yes, it is.
Yay, Twitch baby.
Yay.
Twitch baby.
Aww.
baby in Twitch.
McLesley has cheered Cleo biddies. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm quite risk averse as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me, you know.
Yeah. Oh, go on.
I also have had like one of those jobs where I don't get to choose what my time off is.
Mm-hmm.
So doing that sort of thing is kind of, you know, impossible to have that sort of like, I'm just going to go and give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
So those two things combined is, you know,
Yeah.
weird.
It makes sense. Yeah. Because I don't...
Doesn't make for good stories though, Joe.
No, it doesn't. I don't think that I'm a risk-averse person. I think... Well, I act risk-averse because I have gotten screwed over so many times. Like, my instinct is still to keep jumping. But, like, at a certain point, I've had to get more choosy. Because clearly just going with my instinct is a terrible idea.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so...
Yes, Joe, I have met you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the hype train, guys. And Paleo for the extra 100 biddies. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
But, like, I would say, like, my... What
The
some
riskiest thing that I've ever taken a punt on
Sure.
is quitting my job.
That's a pretty big one, though.
Yeah. Because, like, I was, like, I needed evidence. And the kind of evidence... It's because, like, my mum was in the process of, you know, dying. That was the thing that made me leave. It was just a case of, I've got to do this thing. But I need to have some evidence. The amount of evidence I waited for was 1 month.
Yeah.
To see if it would be doable, and then I just sort of leapt. Thank you, Mini Cheese Mouse, for the biddies. I hope your avocado and ice cream fund is still good. It is. It is always good. But yeah, no, it was a case of 1 month worth of earnings from Twitch, and I was just like, I can make a go of this, and so I did.
Gerardo...
I thought I could, and then I did, and then it's
Yay.
fine.
Gerardo just tipped 20, who says, 4 more art supplies. Let me go ahead and rotate that camera 20 degrees. I will say that even when I did quit my job, I wasn't trying to quit my job. I went to them and I said, hey, I'm making enough money off of my side stuff right now that I'm basically doubling my monthly income, and I don't need to do that. I'd like to keep working for you so I can have health insurance, but can I take a 20% pay cut and draw down to 4 days a week? And they're like, Joe, if we let you do that, everyone's going to do that. And then I said, okay, that's fine. I'm putting in my notice. I quit. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, why would you,
Why would you think that was going to go any other way?
Well, yeah, it's like, I felt like, I don't, yeah.
I thought I was clear about
that. This wasn't an ultimatum, per se, because I thought that they would just go, Joe's pretty, my value, basically, my value to the company versus what they're getting away with underpaying me, because of, basically, they were paying me in flexibility to take care of my kid before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But once the pandemic hit, everybody's working from home. So that flexibility is the same flexibility everybody's getting, right?
Yeah.
So now they're underpaying me even more, arguably. And, I was just like, really? I really thought you guys would say, yeah, Joe, you can have every Tuesday off to record with your friends. You know, and they're like, well, but then everybody's going to want to do that, and we can't have everybody in the office working 4 days a week, because everybody could take a 20% pay cut and keep their health insurance and still get by. It's going to be worth it to them, and we just can't have that. And I was like, okay, well, try and hire...
That seems like a you problem.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, I genuinely... I came into this negotiation with from a position of strength, because I was basically doubling my income at that time, you know. But you know, I was not, I wasn't ready to jump at that point because I knew the health insurance thing was going to be insane. The Cobra coverage ended up costing me something like, oh gosh, it was because the other thing too was my kid had surgery coming up, so I couldn't switch to a cheaper health insurance. All of her surgeons and anesthesiologists and stuff were all in the coverage from that employer, so I had to pay for Cobra, and it came out to something like $1,900 a month. And so, so all that extra money I had saved up immediately went into that Cobra coverage so that her surgery would still happen. Which is one of the reasons I'm constantly broke. But like, man, if they had just given me, you know, just let me do that 4-day-a-week thing, I would have stayed at 4 days a week. Probably, like maybe not to today, but like maybe until around when Impulse and you quit, I would have been like, okay, maybe it's time for me to make the full jump too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it did seem like there was a whole spate of us that just went full time, like all at the same time.
Yeah. Whew.
I mean, I think it was getting to the point where it was just like it's irrefutable now. You know,
Like we should.
this is working for us.
Yeah, we should be doing this. Yep. Well, I like doing this. I have fun hanging out with you and the gang. I don't know.
The gang.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out that whilst we do this technically for free, we couldn't do it if we weren't supported by viewers' tips. So in that note, thank you McLesley and Pushed and Bakura for the biddies they've just thrown down for me. Ooh. I appreciate that. So yeah, anybody who would like to do the same, I know that the hype train has just finished, but you know, you'd still be, you know, doing me a solid.
It is appreciated.
It is appreciated.
But yeah, so yeah, that's the thing is like I'm like
thank you NX Super for the biddies, it's appreciated.
But yeah, I'm really glad that I took this risk to go on this trip because this is going to create opportunities for my daughter and I to do traveling stuff because like you know, it's one of those things where you always like want to think like, yeah, my kid's really great at something, and it's like,
yeah,
you know, I'm looking at the local rankings and I'm like, there's math that backs that up. That's not just me being proud of my kid, but also, like I said, none of our local people really did a lot of traveling tournaments, so I couldn't really tell like how
couldn't judge where she would be.
Yeah, because like it's one thing for me to go all the way to Wisconsin and take last out of 150 people.
Yeah.
If both of us were like, you know, last and second to last, that would be really discouraging for a child, you know?
Yes, it would be.
I feel like I could bounce back from that easier. Like, that's the sort of thing where a kid just like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me.
Thank you, NJ, for the 5 subs to the community. I do appreciate that. It's very much appreciated.
Ooh. Hey, welcome, Mech Titan.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm coming into this stream with a lot of excitement.
With a song in your heart. And...
yeah. For the people who haven't heard it yet, should we play it one more time?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, I'm going to pull it up on my end here, and then, are you ready on your end?
Yep, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, play.
Crafting with Joe and Cleo. Crafting, crafting, craft.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's never going away.
Yeah.
It's one
Haggis.
of those.
Yeah, my chat's spamming haggis.
Haggis.
Yeah, that's the goofy alternate version. The real one, hopefully
The real one is not going to get a look in. Let's be honest about this.
The real one hopefully will be wrapped up next week. This is my first stream here. What is it about?
I mean, so many things.
I like to ask,
so many things.
what isn't it about? Because, I mean, you've got the glasses, you've got the long hair, you've got the cool car. I mean, that'll get you pretty far.
You have a cool car?
I'm talking about it. Doesn't it? Glasses, hair, cool car. I don't have a cool car.
See, yeah, I was going to say.
No, I've got a 2008 that's like, yeah, I want to actually get a smoke generator. So,
I have a 2007. You're not better.
Yeah, I know, but like
you are better
but
than me.
you know the car from Columbo, how it's always like sputtering and spewing smoke. Like, yeah, I want to get a little button so I can spew smoke from under the hood like that. Because like, yeah, my car is not impressive.
No, it's not, Joe. When you put it like that.
Mahi Zero says that my model of car was a pretty cool car. Well, that's the thing, Mahi Zero was.
Was being the operative term.
In 2008, when,
when it was new.
when it was fully
it was
functional,
cool.
when the bumper isn't half hanging off,
Oh, Joe, would you like to explain to Columbo, to the people who are probably too young to be here, but shouldn't tell me their age, because then I would definitely have to ban them?
Sure. Columbia University is based in New York City. It has dorms and high-rises, which is a lot different from a lot of universities. So they've got both undergraduate and graduate programs that are lauded internationally, including their law program. Pretty highly ranked there. One of my friends went to school there for about a year and was just like, this is kind of a lot, and transferred to Vanderbilt. So that's all I know about Columbia University.
That it's kind of a lot. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in some ways, I think going to a major university in New York City would be like, if you're going for something like theater, right, where you're like you're in the theater hub of America, that's a huge benefit to you, right? But if you're going to university for biomedical engineering, being in a city that also has the best theaters in the world and all of these other amazing things, it's like, man, I'm only going to be in New York for 4 years, and I need to spend all of it studying biomedical engineering and not leaving my dorm and doing all that other cool stuff. At that certain point, you're just kind of like, there are other schools that teach biomedical engineering, and I won't be annoyed all the time at what's going on, like, a block away.
Fair. Just surprised he didn't go on a discussion of the capital of Sri Lanka. I think he has more.
I had a few other ideas for like ways I could misinterpret that. Columbia Records was actually created by the CBS Corporation. The C in CBS is actually for Columbia. But I decided to do the Columbia University.
Joe deciding what bit he's going to do is. It's an art form.
It is an art form. Mm-hmm. Saucefire writes, "Hi Joe and Joe pals. How goes the arting? It's going artistically. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a Saucefire thing. He appends pals to things as a suffix in general.
Okay.
He's like, "What's up, D&D pals? What's up?" That sort of thing. What's
Fair
up,
enough.
Dice pals? Maybe would be. So that's more his brand than mine, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable. Have still no idea what any of this is about. You don't need to. It's fine.
I like to think that nothing is about anything, but also everything's about everything. And then I like to stop thinking.
I like it when you stop thinking, Joe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It makes my life so much more bearable.
Yay. Bearable life. For Cleo.
Found any of the armed... Plenty. I do not like them.
Hey, Redacted Hills in chat. Says, "What up, Joe pals? Don't steal Saucefire's thing." Welcome.
Steal it. Make them regret their life.
Okay, so since Redacted Hills is in chat, aka Quinn Hills, maybe we should do another play of the song. I'm guessing that's why you're here.
God.
So, Cleo, do you have it ready? 3,
Yeah, go
2,
on.
1, play.
Crafting with Joe and Cleo. Crafting crafts. Haggis,
there you go. That was a 7-second song. You can commission those yourself at redactedhills.com. But yeah. Lord Giblets writes, "Am I the only one worried about the mug being so close to his hands?" I mean, this is a really heavy mug, and it's like only a quarter full. I could get a lot of slosh in this mug before anything goes over the lip.
Thank you, Archeator, for the 200 biddies. I appreciate that. And Raging Rhino, who's resubscribed for 2 months, very much appreciated. You wish you had $100 for more song.
Well, Blaze, that's different people are at different points in their life. Just because you're not there right now doesn't mean you won't be later. Deal with it later. Okay. For the folks who are at a point in their life where they can afford to support the arts, don't forget that tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills, and Cleo's got her own tipping link there too.
Yes, I have a tipping link, but you can also do like all sorts of other things on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
You can do your stream loots, you can do your tipping, you can do like you can do all the the Twitch stuff as well. But does the very talented singer of that song say haggis at the end of it?
Yes.
Yes.
If I put the cup center frame, it's a mugshot. Say thank you, Saucefire. Cleo, I need to try and get you into one of Saucefire's charity D&D games. So Sauce does this thing called Mercy Road, benefiting Child's Play. And it's 24 hours of D&D where he dungeon masters 8 different groups, each for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it's really fun.
Yes, you've mentioned this before, I think.
Yeah, I usually dress up and I play as Handleton Beestinger, my sorcerer inspired by Ted Theodore Logan. For example, there was a bit where one of the other party members created an illusion to look like one of the guards and pretended to have arrested me, and I had used my own belt to tie my hands or whatever, and then for the reveal I'm like, the only things that can truly bind us are the bonds we place on ourselves, and then I pull it off or not. Ugh. But just dumb stuff like that. It's just goofy stuff.
I mean, D&D is goofy stuff, generally speaking. I actually GM'd a vague mystery, and it worked.
Ooh.
That's never happened before. Yeah, they followed the clues.
They followed the clues?
They followed the clues. They came to a logical assessment. They figured out who did it. And it was just like, what? This doesn't happen.
They were just like, this couch looks suspicious. Let's take it somewhere else.
No. They found all the notes. They found the special screen that showed them. It was truly bizarre.
Oh my gosh.
So they actually did the thing that I was expecting them to completely ignore and going, ooh, free loot.
They did the thing. Wow.
They did the thing. Anyone who has played D&D understands.
It's very rare.
It's so rare
that the players do the thing.
That the players solve the mystery. Push goes, that doesn't sound like us. No, but you did it. You did the thing. Wow. I was very explicit about how I laid it out. I made it very easy, but they did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You even saved the sacred flame. It was just it was a truly mind-bending a few hours of D&D where they did the thing that I wanted them to do.
Wow.
I know.
I'm just, oh wow. It takes a lot to really flummox me, but this is borderline incomprehensible. My brain cannot wrap around this.
They actually did the thing, Joe.
I know.
You mean the plan survived contact with the players? Yes, it did.
Oh my gosh.
It was just sort of wow.
So usually what I try and do is I try to have whatever I put in front of them is part of some sort of broader problem, and if they escape the boundaries of the situation, they just escalate to what part
the
of
situation.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that's
Oh no, that's exactly what I've got planned as well. It really helped that having one of the characters there, their family was in this place and they'd all got murdered. So one of the characters, they were duty bound to help.
That actually really helps. You only had to murder
really
a player's
helped.
family to do it. But
I mean, it wasn't close family.
oh, okay, that's fine then.
So
hey, looks like I got a tip rolling in.
and it wasn't a player, it was a character.
Oh, okay. Mere Muse tips 5. Thank you so much, Mere Muse. Let's go ahead and rotate that camera another 5 degrees angular up to 44 here. Do. And we are gonna go ahead and get that on the abacus as well. Oh man. Yeah, because so for example, let's say that this is just purely exemplary. If I had a situation where like the players are at the bank and a robbery starts, and they just completely like peace out, I would have them like as you guys are walking home, you see robbers burst out of another bank. Like I'm just like, what if exactly the thing that was gonna happen to you guys is just happening all over? What if it's part of something bigger? Like somebody's actually robbing every bank in town simultaneously, or something like. So then I can take elements of the original plan and then just make the confrontation at the end grander or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, the thing is, it's a sort of like the last few sessions specifically, and I've got one of my players in the chat at the moment, so I'm being very vague about this.
Yeah.
Like the last few instances they've had were just building on the stuff that's going on in the place that they're going to. So it's really nice. It's really nice to see them following a story for once. So, you know, it's just sort of like, I did give them fair warning that, like, if you want to solve this, you're going to have to use the investigate skill at some point. And they did. And it was like, oh, God.
What? You could actually use that?
They actually used it, and used it well.
Whoa.
And they searched bodies for once in their lives.
This is
they
different
never
from
searched
looting.
bodies.
Oh, I don't.
Different from looting.
Well, that's
but they never loot either.
Well, I don't.
That's my problem with my people.
Well, and that's something that comes up a lot of times in our party. Is like most of the people that attack us are like attacking us on the way to do something. And so I'll be like, you know, as soon as it's like, okay, so we wasted enough time, let's get going. And the dungeon master's like, you guys don't want to check to see if there's any clues? And it's like, oh, these guys don't seem really related to whatever's going on. And he's just like, so you think I'm just having random people attack you for no reason in the middle of the story? And it's like, well, I don't know. Sometimes there's a chart or a table. Like, we've really got to get this mystery solved.
I don't use the tables.
No,
like,
he doesn't either, though. That's the thing. And he gets annoyed that we're just like, we got to get back to the story. And he's like, this is the story. Look at the bodies. They've got letters in their pockets. Like, he's not actually that frustrated. I'm playing it up. But, like, you know, it's gotten to the point, though, where, like, one of the characters is like, you know, I don't really like touching dead bodies, but maybe we should check to see if they have any letters or anything on them. I don't know. Like... And it's just like, you find a bunch of magic items, and it's just like, well, you know, those might be family heirlooms, or, you know, whoever, like, we should, the dungeon master would be like,
yeah, no, I get it.
Who wants to take this magic ring? It's like, I mean, that came from a corpse. Like, that's kind of gross.
Yeah,
like,
it is kind of gross. Who wants to have their clothes?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, it's just like...
Push has just said, coming on top of the emotional trauma earlier in the session, a murder mystery was a nice change of pace. Yeah, I did give them some emotional trauma. That's good. That is true. Yeah. That does help, focusing on something else. But it's character growth.
Woo!
Learning that you can't trust everyone.
You can't trust everyone.
Even the people that you think that you should.
That's right, Cleo.
Like my previous campaigns have all been about, like, trusting the family. No. This time, you don't get to trust anyone. Anyone's going to stab you in the back at some point. Except surprisingly, the evil bigoted gnome who's about this tall. He's not going to stab you in the back.
He's got a real strong
'cause he
sense
can't
of
wield a
honor.
knife.
He's got a real strong sense of honor.
No. He's just too small.
Oh,
he's
just
literally
literally
like 3
too
inches
small.
tall.
Oh, okay.
First, you train your players that every encounter has significance, and then the campaign is all random encounters. As a forever DM, I try and swing the other way, explore everything. Like the thing that my campaign, like I emotionally torture them because they like emoting is difficult for some of them, so I make them. And it's just sort of like, well, now I'm uncomfortable. Good, that's what you should be in a
should
D&D
be
campaign.
uncomfortable. I'm Zombie Cleo. Welcome to your discomfort.
I mean, that's the whole point about role playing is you get to feel emotions that you necessarily wouldn't do otherwise.
Yeah.
So make their families evil. It's the law. You emotionally torture them. Why? Because why else would you be a GM? Because I'm the only.
Okay.
I am the person who is GM'd for that group the longest. We all take turns, but I'm the one that has had the campaigns that last for 2 or so years. So, that's why I'm a GM, because I'm the one that does it the most. Although, to be fair, Push did take... I'm just going to run one-shots and then run an entire campaign for us, so that was nice. Okay, we've officially ended.
What have we officially ended?
Hmm?
What have we ended?
I was about to say that before you asked me what we'd ended.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. We've officially ended Alien Month.
Woo!
Did a one-shot that turned into a year-long campaign. This is true. And since I've got a lot of pretty, sparkly washi tapes, we're going mermaids, I think.
Ooh.
I know. No way I'm going to be able to draw that. So, rubbish mermaids it is.
Yay.
You run them most often because of the labour it takes. You must take your payment in souls. I mean, you're not far off. Mostly what I do is, just have fun with it. I was trying to run this campaign seriously, and then I just there is literally no way that I can run this one seriously. So, we start getting into the gnomish deep state and stuff like that. So it's like, eh.
Yeah.
Just make things as ridiculous as possible, because if I do it, then they won't be so inclined. And I know where things are going. I'm looking for a bit of cardboard that actually I could cut out. Skizzers.
So
You're back with unintentional scrambled eggs. Were you trying to make an omelette? Is that what was going on?
So Cleo, I've got kind of an interesting design challenge here with this, because I'm trying to base the kind of the different missions on different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum, and different space telescopes view different parts of that spectrum and would have different objectives or whatever in the missions. Normally in a game where you've got multiple missions, you might have the lighting on the machine change differently depending on what mission you're on. So in the visible light mission there might be more rainbows, we'd have the full visible spectrum, but in the UV light mission I might have a black light turn on. In the infrared mission we would just use red because that doesn't work as well as black lights,
Yeah.
But I'm thinking for X-ray and gamma ray. Gamma ray might be green themed just because people associate gamma rays with the Incredible Hulk. It's kind of dumb, but culturally, if you ask somebody what color would you represent gamma rays with, I think on some level they would just go in their gut, well green. Like, is that?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is that right or wrong?
I would say that like, for as much as I hate that you're right, yeah.
So I've got a gap though for X-rays. Like, what color do you think people associate with X-ray?
Usually black and white, isn't it?
Yeah, you could almost do a deep purple for the X, but like, yeah, people when they think X-rays, they think black and white because that's how.
Yeah.
Well, I know X-ray printouts are black and white.
Slightly off
Zeros.
gray.
Yeah, off gray. Yeah, I mean, actually, in some ways, having the table go black and white for the X-ray might look cool, and it's visually distinct from the other ones. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah, people are saying use black, white, grayscale. Yeah, grayscale. Okay. Kindleless says pink. I think Kindleless is just being difficult.
I mean, for a change.
Yeah, Rex Verdi says blue-gray. Okay. Like a slate. Yeah. Because that's the other thing is, with lighting on a playfield, it's hard to convey black with lighting, Yeah, at best you can do different grays through whites, but they're all pretty bright. Otherwise the lights don't look lit. So having a little bit of blue in the gray there, making it high, giving it some saturation on the blue might be good.
I mean, it could work.
Yeah. Hypothermic Haddock says some X-ray sheets are dark teal. Interesting. Interesting, yeah.
Subvert expectations and make X-rays bright pink.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the solar panels on the Chandra Space Telescope.
Yes, Joe.
Chandra is the space telescope that we use for X-rays. They're actually kind of. Let me look at the colors on those. They're kind of a blue slate, so that might actually work well anyway. Kind of unify with that. Kind of a dark teal. Yeah, dark. Yeah, it's got a really cool solar array on it.
Cool.
And a sunshade door. There's something cool I could do with that. I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay. So this needs to be taller. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Taluska's resubscribed for Taluska's resubscribed at tier 3 for 25 months. Thank you so much. Oh, Shifty Pumpkin tipped $20 and says I calculated the risk of tipping. I got a 16. I don't know what that means, but here the risk of tipping is variable with a chance of sea sharks.
Shifty Pumpkin also sent me 20. Thank you, Shifty Pumpkin, for supporting two incredibly beautiful, talented people like us. I'm going to rotate my camera 20 degrees. Shifty Pumpkin writes, light rays, X-rays, and gamma rays creeps in this petty pace from day to day. That's going to bring us up to 64 here.
Okay. Don't know how I'm going to transfer this, but we'll give it a go.
Take a look. It's in a book. It's Rubbish Mermaids.
Wow, Joe.
What?
I'd like to see your mermaids.
You're the one calling them that.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to call them that.
Fine. dun 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 dun.
I'm just trying to tessellate at the moment. Stop getting crushes on every villain, Blaze. This one is different. This villain wears red. Blaze. I'm not judging. A lot. Keep picturing the mermaids who are dedicated to trash removal in the ocean. Oh, those ones. That's a cute little. That's a cute little thing. Okay, I think we might have it. Let's see. If I can get this to tessellate properly, I can make one that's made of card. And then put it in the book. Oh. Well, obviously this side needs to be bigger.
Yeah, that much is clear. No question.
Ooh.
Do 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 dee 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 dee.
Okay. I want to try gelling, but your ADHD brain says no. I mean, that's entirely legitimate. If you want to try bullet journaling, I mean, bullet journaling was actually designed with ADHD. I mean, the way I do it is not the way it was originally intended, but it was actually designed by someone to help with their ADHD originally. So I just make mine, like, I just go with the generalized trend of just making it pretty, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Is like everybody's got to find out what works for them. Like, you know, the path of least resistance isn't a universal trail. You know, there are just certain things that because of the way your body is, the way your experience is, where something will just feel right or come naturally to you that won't be the case for somebody else. And so, yeah, you can start with a framework like, you know, hey, this is good for ADHD people or whatever, and then say, well, these three things that don't work, how could I tweak them? How could I move them into, like, my natural path, you know? Maybe I throw out some of them entirely. But I take the pieces that work, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And this is the sort of thing too. I'm gonna be making a lot of pinball analogies, Cleo, because I just got back from a pinball tournament. But like everybody kind of has like a different natural play style, and because the geometry on different tables is designed differently, sometimes somebody will just walk up to a table and start playing it and just be like, "This one feels right." Like all of the shots that you need to make to get points, the ball goes where it should. It feels like you're you know, because different people have different like reflex speed and stuff like that. It's like sometimes you play a game and you're like, okay, this game feels like I need to flip earlier than I think I should, and you have to correct around that. Or I need to flip later than I think I should. Or I need to trap the ball in the like crook of the flipper, which is called cradling it, and then slow it down, shoot from a dead stop, that sort of thing. But like some people like there's just like a natural flow like how they play and how the game plays just mesh.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually I don't know if you've heard the expression I rolled a table, which is not like Jesus in the temple throwing a table, but the display on the old pinball machines only had so many digits on it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you exceeded the number of points that could be displayed, that would be called rolling a table. And I did that for the first
Right.
time this weekend on a table I had
Nice.
never played before this weekend, which was the old Bally Kiss game. And
Okay.
it was just laid out in such a way where I was just like, I could just keep. I'm just like, all three balls were just extremely long playing. And like I said, I did so well that my score exceeded what the manufacturer believed was plausible, right?
Right.
And like, so, but like, almost 100% of life is not like that. But if
True.
you can do little things to nudge processes toward that, change them up, make them work for you, then you're gonna get more out of things. If that makes any sense.
That makes sense to me.
But yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Congratulations on rolling your first machine.
Yay! Thank you, Cleo.
Oh, welcome. I'm glad it worked out for you.
Well, and I will say, so the in that 20-game tournament, this was during tournament play too. So like there were a lot of
Nice.
people around because we're all playing, and that group so you're assigned groups, like there's 10 rounds with 2 games each, and that was the first game of that round. The other 3 people in my group I had never played with before in my life. They didn't know me, I didn't know them, and they're just like, wow, who is this guy, where's he from, like that sort of thing,
Yeah.
because it's like I just completely just blew up this table like it was nothing. And then we get to the second game in our round, which was like the opposite in terms of like the geometry. Everything about this game is like against how I naturally play, and I'm like trying to recalibrate on the fly, but I haven't played this one before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got dead last, and so it's just like oh, okay, I guess he just got lucky that time. Well, it wasn't luck. There was a lot of skill required to keep the ball alive for like several minutes per ball and be scoring points the whole time. But like, it was fortunate that that particular machine and my talent were like completely aligned. And no other machine in that building was going to be that good for me. And then I was on the one that was as far away as possible from that in terms of like alignment.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
After, I'm just
Of course, immediately.
Yeah, it's like, but I was still just like, the thing is, I knew why that happened. Like I wasn't just like, what the heck? I was just like, well, that makes as much sense as anything else,
Yeah.
Moving on.
We've all had that moment of just like, we just get the right pinball table.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Ferretarier says, did you see the pre-announcement of some sort of groundbreaking announcement from NASA that's supposed to be announced soon? Yes, and some people I know
Aliens!
People I know who work at NASA are also kind of bubbling about this. We'll see what we see. I'm not going to, I have nothing to say at this time.
Let's be honest, if it was aliens, they wouldn't be the ones making the announcement.
Oh, no. It's something about physics. But, like, honestly, like, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, if they're like, we haven't announced it yet, I'm like, okay, I'll come back when it's announced. I want to go in with no expectations. I want to just open-minded, see what happens. Rex Verdi says, I couldn't possibly comment. Yeah, so...
I mean, you could possibly comment, you're just not going to. We see how it is.
No,
we see where we are.
I do
on
know
your,
that...
on your list of priorities.
Yeah, one of my friends who's, like, a gamma-ray physicist for NASA, like, just went to Australia for something. And so... It's like, might be something about gamma rays, but beyond that, let's see, though. Hey, we got another 5 rolling in from Mr. Hardluck, who yells, Haggis! and also mentions this tip has been approved by Queen Dark Lady. That's Mr. Hardluck's spouse. So we're gonna rotate the camera 5 degrees angular. Woo!
Thank you, Denouement, for the 26 months resub. I really appreciate that. Like, people just sticking around for 26 months in and of itself is just... It's just a lot. It's just a lot of months, you know? So thank you, guys.
Yeah. Woo. It is amazing, though, like, how people... like, I mean, I run into people who read my comic from 2006, like... You know, they might not have kept up with me the whole time, but, like, you know, because people get busy, whatever. But, like, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I read that, and then I saw you on Hermitcraft a few years later. You know, it's like, wow.
Oh, TDM has resubscribed for 27 months again. Thank you for keeping me company while I'm working from home. Well, it's very appreciated that you've chosen us for your working at home needs.
A lot of people are like, some YouTuber that you don't know had a video about it. It's like, I really don't want people promoting YouTubers I don't know and can't vouch for. So I'm going to do a little timeout and remove those comments and multiple chats here. Am I not logged in on Twitch? Why can I not moderate? Is there like a way to disable mod mode for yourself? Manage moderation settings. For some reason, I can't click on people's names and, like... Oh, yeah, there it is, timeout. Yeah, I don't know these people. I don't want people promoting YouTubers I can't vouch for. Like, that makes me really uncomfortable, because, yeah.
And also, it's good manners to not promote other people's stuff in somebody's... I mean, that's just, like, etiquette. You ask first.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then the other thing, too, is this is, like... You know, once again, a speculation video. And I don't want to... Like I said, I'm just going to wait for the announcement. I don't... You know...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, people who get rich making, like, what's Mojang gonna do next? What's NASA gonna do next? Like, that just feels cheap to me. I don't know. That's not how I want to live my life, and it's not the sort of thing I want to promote. People, like... I don't know.
I'm going to say it's aliens until I'm proven wrong. In which case, I'm going to say aliens some more.
Yay, Cleo, say
because,
it,
you know,
aliens.
the good thing about a conspiracy theory, every time someone proves you wrong, that's just the conspiracy theory working for you. You know, it's working against you at that point. It's how conspiracy theories work.
Yep.
Any evidence that denies it is part of the conspiracy. Any evidence that confirms it means you were right all along. I'm not condoning conspiracy theories. I just want to make that clear. I'm merely explaining their worldview.
Okay, I feel like maybe I want to have the infrared switches there or there. I'm trying to figure out, like, where the different start mode pieces are going to be. Like, so for the gamma rays, I want to use the spinner. And that feels like the sort of thing you want on your orbits, because those are fun. I feel like maybe I need to move this whole thing up. This whole thing might be too low.
Okay. We have scales. Everybody, scales. Let's see if I can just work the corners so they actually match. You do have scales. I mean, you should possibly get that checked out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if that's just, you know, how well evolution has taken you. But, you know, if somebody says to me, I've got scales, I'm just like, ooh, That doesn't sound healthy.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that might be something.
It's either genetic or it's not. I too have scales. Oh, I too like to weigh things. I mean, there is that option too. I have 4 scales. 2 are broken though.
Cavman writes.
I mean, if you...
Oh, go on.
Go on.
Cavman writes, conspiracy theories are mental traps for smart people in bad mental situations. They act like addictions in the brain.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
It also makes people feel smarter than they are.
Can't
I
have
know
that.
I know the secret truth about the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you compare that to me, who does actually know the secret truth about the universe.
Yep.
Yep. Oh dear God.
I was gonna say.
Snowme, thank you for purchasing 5 Streamloops packs. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that if there was a Hermitcraft equivalent of like the ultimate answer or whatever, we built a machine to determine, the ultimate truth. It would just be like a little oak sign that says Gem is great.
Yeah, because Gem is great.
Gem is great!
Gem is great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is the fundamental truth to the universe, as we've now established. Fact.
Uh-huh.
That's the fundamental truth to the universe, not the little signs that Cub just tends to leave around.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just weird on purpose. Too bad Gem left to not hear that. Oh, was Gem here? I didn't know Gem was here.
Oh, I didn't know Gem was here either. In fact, I probably wouldn't have said it if Gem was here.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Me neither. They can't hear our opinions of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong.
No, we only talk about people behind their backs. That's...
Yes. Oh, a bunch of you said hi to Gem. Oh.
Oh, well, we didn't.
Well, we didn't see. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I'm busy colouring scales. Sometimes I'm just busy drawing them.
Indeed. And it looks like I'm busy reading a thank you message here. Let's see what we got in the tip jar. Bum, 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 bum. It looks like Samuel tipped 5 and writes, money! So we're going to go ahead and rotate that camera another 5 degrees angular here. Money!
What is it good for? Pretty much everything, actually.
Yeah. Let's say that you wanted a vodka drink, you could buy that with money. If you wanted a cider drink or a lager drink, if you wanted to buy like a song that reminded you of the good times or a song that reminded you of the better times, if you wanted a telephone that looked like a pipe, you could buy that with money.
Yeah. But some things can't be bought with money.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly poisons.
Or games on Xbox Live. You have to buy Xbox points first or something. Like You can't buy that
And
with
things
money. You
from
need
my museum.
X-Bucks.
And things from my museum, they can only be bought with doubloons.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Anonymous, for the gift sub to Gem. It's appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're not here to appreciate it.
The Jam first time chatter says, I see what you did there. Thank you. Kara K says, can you buy prosthetic foreheads you can wear on top of your real heads? Well, I got news for you. Michael Dorn from Star Trek The Next Generation, that was money that paid for that makeup job. He doesn't actually have that.
I can buy Clip Studio Paint EX with money, and that's about as close to happiness as I could ever get.
Welcome,
That's the sad.
Evanetta.
That's sad. It's just the sad thing. You're right. That's the sad thing. I don't want your money, honey. I want your love. Too bad. That's all you're going to get is money. Love is not for sale here.
Nope.
It's illegal. Oh, I've been thinking, like, you know, we're going to have to sign things on the cards.
Yes. Well, so for the ones, okay, go on. Sorry.
Sorry, I was just thinking about where I'm going to sign them, and do I sign them Zombie Cleo or just Cleo?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, like, Cleo, because I've got, like, a Cleo signature.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let me just get a... We do it in Sharpie. Let's just, like... So my Cleo signature is just... is that. And that's very easy for me to write.
Mm-hmm. So I've got an @JH thing. I don't know if you've got my stream open. I actually didn't have yours open because of the
That's okay.
trying to practice for the not having multi-streaming, but I should probably be able to see what you're working on now that I'm
I mean,
thinking
same.
through it. Let me open that up in a new so I can yeah. Oh, wait. So is the so you do Cleo and then the Z underneath it, or was that unrelated?
No, I like that's the signature that would be Zombie Cleo. That's the Cleo signature. Okay.
So, Mike Deadman points out, doesn't the card already say Zombie Cleo? So signing it with Cleo makes sense. That I'm gonna agree on that personally.
See, that is a very easy signature for me to just roll out like hundreds of thousands of if I have to.
Well, the other thing is,
which I won't. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you don't wanna obscure the art too much.
Yeah.
So like, I probably won't use the @JH because I probably want to do the full like @Joe Hills, but that one's more like that's not I'm not. You know,
I love that you're all scared of the signatures. Yes.
So
he says, "Yeah, I'm afraid of how many cards you have to sign. Also, the size of the cards. Well, they're card size, so like that is definitely doable to fit in without obscuring too much of the artwork."
I mean, I also spent like most of my first 7 years of school writing things like I will not talk in class. Like, you know,
I only ever had to do that once.
Oh my gosh. No, it was constant.
What pen and marker we're using? I don't know.
I don't think I internalized whatever they wanted me to do. But yeah.
I mean, I could do that, which feels weird in itself, you know?
Interesting. People are saying that my stream just dropped out on Twitch.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, it dropped out for me as well.
Am I still live on YouTube?
I don't know.
Cause I've got my stream health. I'm not dropping any frames. Is JoeHills.net live? That's actually the real question, because that's like kind of almost a direct. JoeHills.net/live.
I have great handwriting. Thanks.
Yeah, YouTube, it didn't drop out, so this is some sort of Twitch thing. maybe Twitch.
I mean, I'm still live, so...
Yeah, BKJ says, did they get him for multicasting? That's not against the rules until July 1st. So, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't necessarily want to sign mine just with @Joe. I like the @JH as kind of a quick initial for stuff. But, like, I feel like for these cards, I should try and fit the @Joe Hills. I'm a little bit... I'm realizing I did not... we do have some negative space on my card. If I look at...
I mean, you've got stuff, like, at the back of the pinball machine that you could use.
Well, there's a little bit of a space underneath my name, where there's, like, open sky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably sign it there. There's also a little bit of space where the water is next to, like, the +20 against explorers. Yeah, I'll have to play with it.
I hope they're sending us some spares.
They should be, yeah, because there's the expectation that we're gonna have to experiment some. Sign it on the moves section. Okay, the thing is that I don't know what kind of markers they're gonna approve. They might even send them because, like, we want something that's gonna be archival and not interact negatively with their ink. So I'm not sure if they're gonna be dark colored or light colored.
I have no idea. Hope one hermit accidentally smudges us. Well, we've already decided that we're all going to at least set, we're going to sign one card as Etho.
Is Etho not signing any cards?
I don't know. I mean, it was just a silly thing we were talking about.
Okay.
I mean, there are some hermits that have, like, medical issues, which prevents them from signing a huge amount.
Yeah, there was one person with repetitive stress issues who was just like, I feel bad capping it at 300. It's like, it's that's what
I mean,
you
one
can
of them can only go up to 100, so
yeah, and so it's like,
and it's just sort of like, I was hoping somebody else would be able to just not be able to sign it with me. I feel bad. It's just like, dude, you got to take care of yourself, you know?
Yeah. Like,
so if you see any comments like that, just like some people, like, just you have our permission to say, don't people are ill for different reasons and they have limits to their lives.
Maybe we should stream. I was gonna stream me signing mine, but, like, let's talk through this. Maybe you and I should, if they come in at a convenient week for us to do it on our Wednesday morning craft stream, maybe we just do them together.
I was gonna stream some as well, so
yeah. I mean, honestly, it might be more than we can. It might be one of those things where I'm just like, every stream that week, I'm like, okay, we're gonna sign 80 cards or whatever. Like, if it's an insane number, I might need to split it up.
I do not see a huge amount of cards needing to be signed necessarily.
I'm actually pessimistic. I'm gonna make back the money I spent on the artists. So, but, like, people tell me that I'm bad at evaluating that stuff, and so I need to have a plan for both,
Yeah.
The plan for, if we don't sell...
You see, like, my brain is just sort of like, I didn't pay for the artist because I asked Beef to deal with it, but I got the best possible artist I could have done.
Yeah, that was
smart. So...
you did it right. I did it the worst possible.
Appreciated.
But it still turned out with a great card in the end, thanks to Aviva.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna. Hold on.
By the way, Kish Doodles is the person in my chat who did my card, and if you've seen my card, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. You sold 400 plushies twice, but you will have cards to sign. I believe I will have some cards to sign. I don't know how many it's going to be. I think with Kish's art, I have a good chance of getting more.
Yeah, and also I don't know if the pricing's been announced yet, but Like, I don't know, because I don't collect stuff. It's like,
I've been told by somebody who does collect that sort of stuff that they are cheap.
they're cheap compared
For
to Magic
singles
the
cards.
Gathering stuff, but they're not necessarily cheap for, if you're a college, like, if I was in college, well, I wouldn't buy a
Yeah.
plushie if I was in college either, because I couldn't afford it. This would cost more than I had when I was a student working in the cafeteria, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is the sort of thing that, like, now as an adult, if I was going, if one of my best friends invited me to their child's birthday party and their kid loved Gemini Tay, I might say,
Yeah.
okay, this amount of money is a little bit on the high side for a child's gift, but they are inviting us to a party, and, you know, I'm probably going to drink this much anyway in their booze, so it evens out. So yeah, I would say that, like, in terms of pricing expectations, set them about how much of somebody else's alcohol could Joe drink at a kid's birthday party. Like,
Oh,
Delg says, are your viewers largely college students? I don't think so, but the thing is, on some level, living like that financially, my parents never had a lot of extra money, and then I didn't have a lot of extra money as a college student. And then when I was paying off my student loans and educational debt for 10 years, I didn't have... I wouldn't have been able to afford this until 3 years ago.
Somebody said, Grian said on stream, it's 30 for unsigned, 35 for signed. So
If Grian said that on stream, then it's probably right. But I'm
probably
not
correct,
saying
but
that,
I don't
because
know.
As far as I know, that was the last place we left it, but nothing was finalized. Maybe Grian was told that it was finalized.
Yeah. All we're saying is, Kish goes, I'm glad I'm getting a free copy definitely for being the artist. Is it definitely going to be signed? Because
if you ask for a signed one, yes.
No, I'm talking to Kish.
Oh.
Because if yours isn't signed and you want it signed, I will happily get it. I will happily deal with that for you. But that's up to you.
I will say that was part of Aviva's contract with me, was getting... I think I'm actually possibly going to be sending Aviva both a signed and unsigned copy. You know.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think I can ask for it to be signed, huge pleading eyes and all.
Delg says, I had a rich roommate, so we always had cigars and Red Bull in the room, but I couldn't have justified getting collectibles. Yeah, that's like, I had roommates who were better off than me financially, so we always had nice televisions in the dorm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had a television otherwise. Yeah. But yeah, I basically, until the cards go on sale, I don't know what to expect at that price point. Because, like, a lot of the people who are really enthusiastic about me making fan art and stuff on Tumblr are not necessarily at a point in their lives where they can justify buying any collectibles, let alone Joe Hill's collectibles. Like, so it's not like me, I have a lot of doubt that people like my stuff. It's, I don't know how many of the people that like my stuff enough to buy it can justify spending that on a card as a gift, you know.
I get it.
Or for themselves.
College student here, want to buy all the cards, especially for Cleo and Pearls, but can't. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
There's a place to see the common Cleo art. Oh, there you go. Kish has got it.
Mini Cheese Mouse says, I'm 99% sure I will get the Joe and Cleo cards. I personally was not planning on buying any of them. I was going to get a free copy of my own, and that was going to be it. But after seeing that TFC card,
I know.
It's like, that would be kind of a nice
memorial that will help his family.
Yeah, it helps his family, and it is a reminder of, like, you know, like, I don't need a reminder of Cub Fan. I see him, like, every night when I'm streaming, like,
yeah,
like, you know, so I don't know. I can. But once again, like I said, I don't collect things normally, so I don't, like, have a good place to put this stuff. It's just going to end up in a box until I move. And I don't know when I'm moving.
when I move and I'm going to get my own, like, I'm deliberately getting a large studio. You know,
Oh,
for
it's
myself.
worth it. Like I
You
don't
know.
have enough space in here, and this is way bigger than any other space I've ever worked in. Like, you can be like a gas Cleo. You can expand to fill the volume of your container.
Yeah, I mean, I work in my living room right now, and like, I would like to have all the cards as a reminder of like in the years to come, it will be a reminder that I was part of something like this.
Exactly.
And it was big, and it was important to a lot of people.
I love that.
And like having memories of those things, I think will be important to me at that point. But it's just sort of like, I will have at some point a place where I can. I mean, one of the things I want to do is one of the things that Scott's done recently, which is get like commission for his house, like a piece of art where like it shows him and all his friends together, you know, from a particular series. Because I know he's got one from the Empires, he's got one from the Life series, and I think he's got one from Rats as well.
Yeah.
But I would like to commission that
So
for me.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about doing something similar, although maybe at a different scale, in that, like, I've been thinking, you know, once I get kind of settled, I want to lease, like, long-term a commercial space, right? And, like, getting, like, a mural painted on the front of the building or something.
Yeah.
Like, would be really cool, especially because like one of the points of getting that kind of commercial space would be to be able to occasionally host events with like in-person audiences. So instead of like trying to find a gaming store to go play with people at and do, like, I could actually say, hey, come, you know, in my little event space, I've got some folding tables and I've got a camera set up and people can challenge me to card games, like, as part of this special event. And, you know, and like, yeah, having some cool Hermitcraft art just on the side of the building that you could like see as you go down the street. Like,
That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool. Because like having art for me is cool. That would be for me, but it would also be like something for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's something that I would really like to have as just sort of like things that are like indicative of the fun times I've had with these people. You know? And that's, you know.
Yeah.
And then I could take it to my friends or send it to my friends and ask them to sign it. Because that would be cool.
Exactly.
Because it's like a custom piece of art that no one else has. That has all these signatures of these people that I spent a huge amount of time with. So yeah, that's one thing I would love to have. If you tried diamond painting, you could try and create a custom diamond painting thing. I'm not a big fan of diamond painting. It's not my sort of thing.
I'm not familiar with that medium. What does diamond painting mean?
It's you get like crystal beads in different colors, and you stick them on a sticky medium.
Oh, kind of like bedazzling, or pixel
Kind
art
of,
with
yeah.
gems. Okay, interesting. Delg says, I buy collectibles from fundraisers all the time for the purpose of supporting the cause, but if it has sentimental value, it'll be worth displaying later. Yeah, I just, like I said, I hate buying stuff when I don't have a place to display it now, but I also know that this is like, if I don't get this TFC card now, this is the only chance.
This is it. This is it.
Yeah. But yeah, this is not something where, like, these things are expensive enough. They're not sending every hermit their own set. Like,
No.
We're not walking out of here with, like, 26 cards each. Like, I think I get a copy of mine, but I don't think it's even slabbed. I think that I just get to keep one of the ones they sent me that I signed. If I want a slabbed one for display, I think I gotta buy it. So...
I think we get a couple.
Oh, do we?
I think so. I think we get some holographic ones.
Well, those not the alt art though. Those are not holographic.
No.
Yeah, because we're not doing the holographic coating for these because in the slab it doesn't necessarily catch the light as well, and it also there's some issues with like you don't get as high contrast of colors or high saturation as colors with the holographic stuff. So for the ones where we're really trying to showcase the art as best as possible, yeah.
Somebody just asked me if I have ever crocheted. Oh, it's Mitten Feet. Hello, Mitten Feet. Yes, I crochet. This is a 2 meter by 2 meter blanket that I have made.
Oh,
It's dirty and needs a wash, but that is the thing that I have wrought in my time.
Good wrought.
Castle bought a pack of Streamix cards from. Thank you, I appreciate that. Had no idea there's holo cards too. I do believe the holo cards are in the given away in the boxes.
Loopy says, I imagine you can directly order a display slab from them as well. The display slabs that they're using, they're like sonically melted shut. They use some sort of sound vibration thing to melt the plastic together in a way that won't like heat up the ink. Because they resonate.
What they're doing is they're doing magic.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like how a microwave resonates with the water in the food. And so that's why you have to use dishes that don't reflect microwaves like metal, but also don't have water baked into them. And so microwave safe dishes have no water in them. So the heat passes, the microwaves don't resonate with anything in there. So like, yeah, the sonic welding is something, it resonates the plastic molecules, but it doesn't resonate the ink on the paper. So you don't damage the archival card.
Makes sense.
Yep.
It's like Magic the Gathering all over again. It's a lot of temptation. Yeah, I get it. Just debating if I should outline these scales. Probably not. Oh, Jesus.
What?
Thank you, Hedge Knight. That is really appreciated. Hedge Knight has just tipped £100. Says to help commission a thing or whatever it is useful for. Thank you so much. That's really nice of you. And I will commission a thing in the future when I get my house. And I will definitely. That is what that is earmarked for.
Yeah, so you got your tax situation sorted, so now you can move forward with the next phase, which is like, how are you house hunting? Are you mostly looking online? Are you making trips up there?
At the moment I'm mostly looking online. But a mini cheese mouse tip $5 says card funds or whatever you need it for.
Yay.
Appreciated, thank you so much. Right now I'm still waiting on my my accountants for my business tax. I got my personal tax sorted.
Oh, okay,
So
sorry. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for contracts and details to come back, and I've got to wait 6 weeks for the tax refund that I'm due to come through.
Okay.
So until that comes through, not much. But I am looking at. I've been looking for the last year and a half about, places and prices and that sort of thing. So, yeah. I'm probably going towards the West Coast, maybe Glasgow, probably Glasgow. But the plan is at some point I'm going to go up there and do you have a specific area of Scotland? Outer rim of Glasgow and sort of air
Mm-hmm.
is where I can work anywhere. I have, so long as it's got a very good internet connection, I am good.
Well, and one thing I wanted to talk to you about, Cleo, once you get
Yes.
settled up there, because I won't be able to, or, well, I can do what I want, but because of the way the immigration process works, my fiance, once we're married, will not be able to leave the United States for like 2 years until the green card process is finalized or whatever.
Right.
So after that, so this is, now we're talking like 3 years out. This is very speculative. We were thinking about trying to possibly spend like a few weeks or a month like summering in England or whatever. And I was thinking, since I would want to work during that time, I get like a work visa or whatever, I might want to rent some of your equipment. Like, you know how not necessarily your primary stuff that you work with day to day, but your backups. Like, if you've got like a backup microphone and a backup monitor or whatever, you know, and I could just rent some of that stuff from you for a month. Would that be the sort of thing that would be reasonable to, or is that a completely terrible idea?
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
Awesome.
Like, because at that point, I should have like a decent backup setup that you could work with. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
And if you wanted to do something similar, if you were coming to the States for some reason, you know, we could definitely. I would be. My goal is to have enough, like, safety and fallbacks and whatever that, like, part of the point of having those fallbacks is if somebody needs it, they can use it. You know.
Yeah, no, like, I have no problem with you just using my stuff, if I'm being honest.
I would want to. I'd feel more comfortable.
I know
paying
you would, and I am saying,
because I think also for insurance reasons, if something went wrong when I was using it, we might both be covered better if there was some sort of agreement financially there.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, fine.
Cool.
I'm good.
Yay.
Pencil me in for a rental in September 2026, so long as none of my equipment breaks in the meantime. Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is if you were like, hey Joe, my stuff, you know, I absolutely, well, in theory you would be replacing the thing even, like, as soon as you move the fallback into the primary slot, you're also putting in an order for a new fallback. So
absolutely.
So, you know, you could say, Joe, I need you to bring this back by, but I've already ordered the other one, it'll be here in 3 days, so you can come pick that up or whatever.
Yeah,
then
that's reasonable.
Yeah.
You would live in Cleo's attic. Blaze, I would put down poison. I don't want people living in my house.
Yeah.
Apart from me.
Yeah, Cleo has boundaries. And
Yeah,
will
my
poison
boundaries
anyone who
are
violates
no
them.
people in the loft, except me, because I intend to renovate it at some point to get extra space.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm intending to do that, because, like, having a house would wipe out my funds. But, you know, in the future, when I have the ability to do stuff, that's the plan. Don't leave out batteries. I hate that. You'll hide in the walls. Abby, I can't stop you from coming over. Well, I can. But you're the problem you're the person that might end up being responsible for my cats when I'm away. And that's where the bodies are. Look, we don't tell Abby I'm going to put them in the walls, okay? We don't have hollow walls in the UK. I mean, some people do. House is going to get crowded real fast. No, it's not, because I won't tell people where I live unless they promise to leave at some point. I'm going to hide so much weird stuff. Abby, I swear to God. Depends on how old the house is. It won't be that old, I don't think. I mean, I can't afford, like, proper Victorian stuff. And also, that's not really the sort of thing I like. I enjoy aesthetically.
Oh, I mean, I would want to go full haunted house if I could. Like, I don't think I can financially afford it, but
Hmm. Honestly, I just want like the things that I need and the things that I definitely need. It's like I'm gonna go for 3 bedrooms,
mhm.
because I can afford it now. Um, I want a garden so I can grow things. A reasonable sized kitchen so I can cook the things that I grow.
Mhm.
Um, and I want like a utility room if I can get one. That's the thing that's going to be a problem, is getting a utility room.
Mhm.
Anything else is sort of negotiable. Joe, if you want a haunted house, try Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, Grian told me I probably couldn't afford a Scottish castle. I would assume a British castle or an English castle would be more expensive.
Oh, yeah, by a factor of 10, I would imagine.
Yeah, so it's like, it's fine.
I mean, live your dreams, Joe.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah, I know. It's not easy, but you know, if you're gonna want it, you might as well want big.
Mhm.
For 30 bucks, I would haunt your house. I don't want you in my house, please. Ghost you or real you. I have been looking at kill winning, but not specifically. Shush. Shush. Shut up, all of you.
Yeah, no.
Hermitcraft YouTube house, but it's a castle in Scotland.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how you'd be keeping track of those, like with a punch card or something.
I hate you, Joe. I hate you.
Okay. I'm looking at the dimensions of these things, and I'm like trying to figure out how big a bank of 3-drop targets is in relation
I'm
to.
sick. Leave me alone, people.
Yeah. In relation to a pop bumper.
I know someone's in the process of clipping that.
Mhm.
That's the worst part.
See, that's why I waited to comment until it was inconveniently, like, if you would have to be 2 clips or they're gonna have to edit it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a helpful person.
Ayrshire reasonably affordable. Yep, that is in my list of places I'm looking. Like the whole of like Ayrshire, Lanarkshire, those sorts of areas, Glasgow.
Mhm.
I mean, like Western Scotland, really,
Mhm.
and a bit of Eastern Scotland. And honestly, I can live wherever.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah, I really. So, one of the reasons I wanted to do Eastern Scotland and be closer to Edinburgh is because if I've got this small event space type setup for my studio,
Mm-hmm.
I could possibly host events like around Fringe or things like that.
Yeah, you could do that.
So, that'd be cool.
It would be interesting, certainly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh. Okay, here's an actual.
yeah, we don't have cellars. Yeah, most washing machines are in the kitchen. Yeah, so having a utility. The reason why I want a utility room is so that I just have a place to put stuff that's like, just have stuff nice, you know.
Mhm.
I just want all the garbage out the way and like have places to store things. So a utility room is kind of my thing that I really want. Willing to forgo a little bit of space so I can have a utility room. If you need gardening advice in your new estate, I'm your fish. I actually am quite good at gardening. Like, I can keep things alive to torture.
Yay.
I mean, I've managed to keep the stuff in my garden alive when it really wanted to die in the heat waves of last year. Just remembered I forgot to water the plants. It's a utility room, and it's nice to have somewhere to put everything that normally doesn't have a home. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm after. Like, you know, that is, I would give a lot for that.
You could also get a shed and a caravan like they have on Taskmaster.
I mean, I would probably have a shed already.
Oh, okay.
But that's for garden stuff.
Ah. You wouldn't just, like, keep a random, like, crutch or something in there.
I mean, I probably would keep a random crutch in there because, you know, I don't really have a use for it. Honestly, I would probably give away the crutch rather than keep it because I don't personally have a use for it. Like, I am very big on getting rid of things that I do not need. Don't go for a new build. They're tiny and have minimal storage. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I have been looking. Utility room for washing machines and stuff is so great. House I live in right now has one. Never had one before, would never want to not have one. Yeah, like... I'm looking at things and I'm thinking, I could make that into a utility room. You know? I have so much stuff in storage I'm trying to clear out. Honestly, like, I put things in boxes and then I think, I've not needed to open this box in 4 years. And then just toss the entire box, usually. Because I think at that point, you know, it's either if I open it, I'm going to get sentimental about the stuff inside it, and I will not get rid of it.
That's fair. You're bolder than I am. I can't do that. I can't. Because, like, I'm like, oh, what if there's accidentally something here, like, I don't know.
Like, the chances are, if I've needed one, I didn't know where it was, and I've already got one. You know?
Oh, see, whereas for me, I will just never replace that particular thing because I always, in the back of my head, I'm like, well, I have one, I just don't know where it is. So...
Yeah, but if I've looked for it and I can't find it, I'm just going to say, well, it's lost then. And, you know, depending on how expensive it is, like, that'll be the thing that makes me go through the box. If it's very expensive... then I will go back through the boxes. At which point the box becomes opened and then I deal with the contents. If I haven't opened it in 4 years now. Because anything expensive enough I will have gotten out.
Okay.
Just taking a drink.
Yay.
You completed the Mucifer song. I will read that later, JT. Okay.
Okay, so how do I want to do this logically?
I mean, logically is not a thing you're
Yeah.
known for.
No, it's not my best.
Background is pretty. It scales. I'm just debating on how I'm going to, like, because I'm thinking that I need to get rid of like the pencil lines, but I don't know what effect that's going to have on the look of it. So I think I might need to go over the pencil lines in black.
Okay, so let's see what this is in centimeters. 2.5 inch, 2 centimeters, 6.35 cm.
Not wrong, Badger. Not wrong.
What's Badger saying?
Oh, right to buy wrecked social housing so much because the government didn't make the councils rebuild or buy new homes that were sold in the 80s. Thanks, Thatcher.
Oh,
Yep.
right to buy is the name of the policy. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was misreading the sentence as like it would be correct to buy wrecked social housing. My brain. Okay, that makes way more sense.
No. Right to buy was a nightmare for the social housing market.
Mm-hmm.
If you were already in social housing and could afford to buy, which was like a huge amount of people,
Mm-hmm.
because it was cheaper back then.
Yeah. Okay. 6.35 times 2.37.
And I don't blame the people buying their council houses. I blame the landlords that came after and bought those houses off of those people. Thanks, Mini Cheese Mouse. I appreciate that. I might contact you in the future. Depends on how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be explicit about where I'm going in the end, but
because that's
you know,
the thing is
the
like
general Scotland region so far is how I've narrowed it down.
yeah, because part of me is like, so are there any particular things you want within walking distance? I'm like, that's not an on-camera conversation. Like,
No.
yeah. So, okay, so 15.
But to be fair, I don't need a huge amount within walking distance. One, I have a car.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I don't. I'm not very people persony, so.
No, that's fair.
Ideally, I'd like to have a D&D group around there, but you know.
But that's drivable radius. That's not like,
Yeah.
must have.
No. Things to have within walking distance. A car. You're not wrong. You miss D&D. D&D is great. D&D is great. And I'm very lucky that I have a regular D&D group. So regular that even Joe knows that it's a Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Yep. I'm attentive.
You are. And it's also been that way for many years now. D&D-ly, NJ. I'm one of the February DMs, can't do voices, but no one cares. Same. I mean, I can do voices, but not consistently and not for very long. What I can do is make them emote. That's all I'm after in D&D campaigns. do the oboe voice. Cleo can do voices. Three voices. Okay, Abby, not everyone is you. Is your current group online then? Yeah, pretty much.
Some of them have the internet.
Some of them have the internet.
Okay.
The magic of the interwebs. Yeah, if you can get a D&D group that, you know, is willing to do online, it's really good. Because a lot of people aren't willing to do online, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, it depends on kind of what your objectives are. If, like, one of your goals is to get out of the house, like...
Yeah,
and
fair.
if you're like, I really need to get out of the house at least once a week, and this is not going to satisfy that requirement.
Every one of my D&D group is a massive introvert. Well, so
but from a mental health standpoint, like just having a change of environment, even if you're going somewhere quiet, not around other people, it's still nice to get out of the house. I could see if somebody only has one night off a week, like if they're parenting, and they can only get like a babysitter or somebody to watch the kids one night a week, they might want to do something where they leave the house.
I understand the desire for people to leave the house. I don't agree with the desire, but yeah. First gained an interest in D&D through Stranger Things. Huh. That's very old school D&D. I mean, I wouldn't say, like, if you're going to do your first D&D, I wouldn't start with D&D. I'd probably start with one of the smaller kind of D6 based ones.
I would say in general, like, start with whatever you can get a group together for, because like,
yeah,
why am I playing Pathfinder instead of D&D? The guy who wanted to run the game wanted to do Pathfinder, and everybody said, awesome, you're running the game. Like, to some degree, it's like beggars can't be choosers on this stuff,
True. But so, like, I if you have somebody who does a lot of D&D and who's willing to GM for you, chances are they've got 1,000 RPGs that they've wanted to try out. So I've got a lot of like D&D books that I've wanted to try out. So I think, like, I'm just trying to think about all the things that I've played with my group personally in the years that I've been running. I mean, I had a Buffy campaign. I played Dogs in the Vineyard. We're currently doing Pathfinder. We've done D&D. I think I've run other stuff with them. Just can't remember. Oh, I know we've played the 40k one, Dark Heresy. We played that. I didn't run that one though. So, it's just like, and we've also bought the I like at least 2 of us in my campaign have bought the Mystery Flesh Pit RPG that's come online recently as a Kickstarter. We've both gone for that. I think Abby was the other one that went for that. So Honey Heist is D6 only. One that I think is probably good is that I've read about that I want to try is Kids on Bikes or
that's
Kids
Stranger
on Broomsticks.
Things inspired, yeah.
Yeah. Kids on Broomsticks is it's an interesting dice rolling mechanic
I'll
that I
have to
like.
look into that. What's the mechanic, if you don't mind my asking?
Basically, all your stats are attached to one dice, and it's very D&D. Like you get stat bonuses for various traits and stuff. But like if you roll like so if you got a D4 in your strength, but you roll a 4, you get to re-roll. And then every time you fail, you get adversity tokens, which can then be used to bump up your rolls. So the DCs you're looking at are much lower, usually. But you have the opportunity to do amazing things within the system. So, yeah.
That's cool.
It does feel very cool. I'm going to outline these. Yeah, no one's going to worry about like if you're newer then. Like the thing like that's the good thing about role play people is they want more people to play with. So generally they're very nice to new people. Because the hardest part about D&D is getting a game for D&D.
Yeah. That is not incorrect.
But I will also say no D&D is better than bad D&D. If there is somebody that makes you uncomfortable, get out. Get out.
Get out of here.
Trying to learn all the lore. Oh, don't.
No, you
don't learn the lore.
You don't need to learn the lore from. So the lore is like for the people who like want to run the adventures from the books, but like all you need to know is how your character works and interacts with their environment, and your dungeon master can fill you in. So like my character is, you know, somebody who is a little bit well traveled, and so if the dungeon master mentions a city, I could say, would my character have met people from this place or know stuff about this? And he would say, yeah, here's a quick summary of what you would know about that. Yeah. In fact, in some cases, it's actually more distracting if you as a player know stuff that your character shouldn't about, like, well, that city actually has a really strict class structure. It's like your character might not have care about that, but you know that, and it's just in the back of your head like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't go into it learning the lore, particularly because most people don't use they use homebrew.
Yeah, the dungeon masters will also, even the people that are like, I'm setting this in the Forgotten Realms, which is like the setting for the main D&D, the people who do that will say, but I made a lot of changes myself. So you're just going to get confused if you start. There's more stuff to keep track of, what things that your dungeon master changed or whatever. So I would not stress about that at all.
Yeah. I always forget about the Forgotten Realms. I never run in any like
I don't either.
I've tried running in the Forgotten Realms, it didn't go well, so I just make up my own stuff now. Because that stuff I can change. And not have anybody know. I use the built-in stuff from the books, but change the strict structure in there, which is fair. I mean, you do what you need to do as a DM. There are no rules. Except don't annoy the DM. And also, your group will have a different playstyle to every other group. And the way your group will D&D will be different to the way everyone else D&Ds. I'm going to annoy the DM, Blaze, you're going to annoy everyone, so
Yeah, it's fine.
they won't take it personally.
We've made peace with this. We know what to expect.
Bring the DM into the shenanigans. The DM probably wrote the shenanigans. Actually, the best part about being a DM is when the people playing the game come up with a better backstory for what happened than anything you could have written. And then you're going, that seems like a really good idea. I'm going to use that.
You're just like, well, I didn't want to come out and say that, but
No. Oh, you've got really good your thinking skills. Oh, so good.
no. But what I'm implying is it was the plan all along. Like, oh, you guys are figuring it out.
Yeah, I know. You figured it out. Ooh, so good.
Wow, impressive.
Geniuses. I've done that a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
The worst part is when people figure things out really early.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, ah.
At least that gives you some time to change it a little bit or
Yeah.
like subvert the expectations.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was drama kid. I can improv reasonably on the fly. Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I was a teacher and I do this for a living, so improvisational skills are pretty good. DMs have to come up with everything on the spot sometimes. Not everything. Thank you, Crystalite, for the 27 months. My DM is my hubby. Can I annoy him? Yeah, sure. That's between you two.
Yeah, that is not on us.
No. You can have to make things up on the fly, but you shouldn't be making everything up on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
You should have like a plot that you're following.
You should have a rough set of like, here's what we're building toward, you know?
Yeah. However, your characters can go, well, we're going to ignore that entirely.
Mm-hmm.
The way I work on that is like, okay, well, it still happens. You are just going to have to deal with the fallout if you choose not to do the thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in general, I always have, like, if the players completely ignore whatever I set up for them, the situation should escalate to the point where it does come back and haunt them later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, they went in this temple where this ancient evil was awakening, and we're like, you know what, let's grab some loot and we'll leave. And it's like, okay, as you guys are leaving, there's just this gigantic skeletal, like, form rising out of the, you know, it's probably a mile high. It's like, oh, okay. Well, we'll worry about that next time. Probably should have, I don't know, resealed the temple on our way out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to play.
The OO isn't disabled. The temptation to try and redeem is real. I mean, you can redeem. I'm not going to do it, but you can redeem.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just refund you later. Yeah, just how it works.
Let's make more work for Cleo. We are getting close to 11 a.m. and Cleo mentioned not feeling well. We said we were going to do a hard stop around now. So, quick reminder, tips welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills, YouTube Super Chat. Cleo also accepts tips and stream loots and stuff.
I do. I really do accept tips.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you all. Always have two paths to the players.
Well, that implies not having... I would say always have choices for the players. If you're not giving them any choices, they're going to really go off the rails. But, like, if you've got 2 or 3 things that, like, keep them on the rails of the plot in general, then they're choosing within those.
Yeah, I generally have NPCs that are part of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And have them affected by whatever's happening.
So they're like,
And then they could say, oh, screw you, I didn't like you anyway.
Yeah.
At which point, drama. Or they can try and help them.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the choices are meaningful and have consequences. Yeah. Make sure that don't be afraid of having things like, for example, I had a plot point that was sort of going on behind the scenes with a couple of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Pushed, rolled, like they were sort of having an argument about it, and Pushed rolled an insight of 27. So it was a case of I'm always of the things that you should reward people that roll very high.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I could have kept that thing about, oh, there's something going on, because I was like, no, this person is your brother. You know exactly what's going on with your brother at this particular moment in time. And a whole mess blew up that I wasn't expecting to have to deal with. But, you know, they dealt with it. It was a very good roll. I mean, 30 is considered god tier, for example, guys. So, yeah. So that was like being flexible, I think, is very important. Like, and reward high rolls, reward natural 20s, even if you don't technically have to. Because otherwise, people aren't going to be excited about rolling high. If they roll high enough, they should get something. And if they roll super high, they should get pretty much everything. Okay, I'm done. I outlined everything. Yay. August. It wasn't even a nat 20. No, that's the worst part. It wasn't even a nat 20 and you got a 27. I like to reward players instead of torture them like some DMs. I mean, you can do a bit of both. I mean, when I say torture, I make them tell me how they're feeling is basically my torture for them. So it's like, what is your character going to do? How's your character feeling in this moment? Don't just use the word angry. Explain to me. What do they want to do?
My character is mad.
Yep. Give me more than that.
I
did it to Push the other on Saturday. They are currently muttering in my chat.
My character feels like there's something missing in life right now, just on an instinctive level. There is a crowbar-shaped hole in my hands, and I just cannot get over the fact that if I had a crowbar right now, I could solve this problem. So my character is like looking around at anything in the area that you could possibly use to pry something, like, and they're like they're like opening and closing cabinets, slamming cupboards. There's got to be something in here that we could use to pry that door open. That there's, you know, you can do something like that, you know, like express that.
Okay.
I'm ready to go when you are, Joe.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up. We're gonna dismiss into our own. We're gonna leave the group voice chat. Cleo, it's been fantastic as always hanging out with you.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. I'll catch you later.
Catch you later, Cleo. Bye. Stream, let's go ahead and see if we have any last minute tips that we need to recognize that might have rolled in. It does not look like it. But thank y'all so much for coming out with me today. The big thing I figured out, let's just real quick, I didn't really want to talk about this too much because Cleo can't really see what we're doing. So I realized that ultraviolet light and infrared light are on opposite sides of the visible spectrum, and I'm going to be using the pop bumpers to represent progress toward the visible spectrum launches. And so I realized having drop targets or stand-up targets possibly that are UV and IR on either side of that visible bit is gonna make a lot of sense. I might end up repositioning these. I'm also thinking about putting some lanes up here that might spell something. I was trying to think of a good
like 5. So you could do something like space if you had 5 lanes, but realistically, you're probably only gonna have 4 lanes, maybe 3. 4 lanes you could spell NASA, but that gets weird from a trademark standpoint. I don't necessarily like, even though it's a federal government agency, I might not necessarily want to make it NASA up there for the lanes. It might be. I've been trying to think of words that like maybe are action words like seek or something like that. Kara K says you could spell deep. Actually, that's a good point. Having a array up here of DEEP and field FIELD down here. I was kind of trying to figure out what to do with that side. You know, it's like one of those things where it's like you spell deep field and increase something. Like if you get all 9 letters in deep field, that might start a special deep field multi-ball. Lens is a good one too. Okay, I'm gonna write down lens, but I think deep is smart because, yeah, I thought about star. Borealis Laura says bang like Big Bang. That's an interesting suggestion, but yeah. I think having so deep solves another problem, which was I was trying to figure out something to put on the left side of the machine here, and having field targets. So having deep rollovers at the top and field targets on there, is actually gonna solve a lot of problems. Uh-oh. That's my reminder that I have a call at 11. And I need to go prepare for that. I need to get a fresh drink. I've got 2 minutes. So, thank y'all so much for joining us. Kara says a dark mode could be triggered because you're looking into the dark spaces of the universe. One thing I was thinking about doing was for the UV, having black lights turn on if you were in the UV mode. And in the IR, it would have like red, but and like for visible light it would be very sunlit playfield. But okay, we have got to get going, so I'm going to check out twitch.tv/directory/following. First off, let me see if anybody's streaming that I met this weekend in my travels, because that's always fun. It looks like that is not the case, but Music Man is playing some Minecraft, so we're gonna raid Music Man. Let me send y'all that way. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do. Stop streaming. Stop in the stream.